Surfer's ear. Even if you don't know what it is, you'll get it if you're a whitewater kayaker. Let's talk about what it is and how to prevent it so you don't have to have surgery like I just did. Surfer's ear is bone growth in the ear canal caused by long-term exposure to cold water and wind. It was discovered with the advent of wetsuits in the Pacific Northwest. As people were exposed to colder and colder temperatures, it was found that this bone growth was closing off their ear canals and they were getting lots of trapped water and lots of ear infections. Years later, here we are. It's more common in kayakers than it is in surfers. The easiest way to understand what surfer's ear is, really, is to see it. These images are a little graphic, so get ready, but let's take a look into a perfectly healthy ear so that you can see a good open ear canal and eardrum. It's nice and open and you can see the eardrum really, really clearly. Now let's take a look in my right ear. You can see it's quite constricted, but there's something blocking the ear canal. You can barely see the white from my eardrum. That's the surfer's ear. Those are the bone growths, and everybody's bone growth is different. They're like fingerprints. Let's take a look in my left ear to see how it's progressed. You'll notice one of the bone nodules is kind of taken over, but there's actually more behind it. This ear is extremely constricted, and the ear canal is only 6 millimeters apart. That means it's really challenging for water or wax or anything that goes into my ear to come out of my ear. It gets trapped behind the bone. This is a problem. Why do we get this bone growth in our ear canal? What causes the bones to grow in your ear to begin with? There's a thin layer of tissue on the surface of your bone called the periosteum. The periosteum supplies some blood flow to the bone and helps with bone growth when needed. Typically, your body, everywhere in your body, there's a lot of insulation between your skin and the periosteum. But in your ear canal, there's no insulation. It is a thin layer of skin, thin layer of periosteum, and then the bone. What this means is that anytime water gets into your ears, 68 degrees and lower, it irritates and can cause pressure on the periosteum. And that irritation on the periosteum stimulates a layer of bone to grow. And with every exposure, another layer of bone can be stimulated to grow and grow and grow, and it builds up like layers of an onion. So over hours and hours and hours of kayaking in nice cold rivers, your ears start to close off. So when I was a kid, we didn't know about this. We had no idea. And I learned how to kayak. I was about 8 years old, kayaking. But it wasn't long. It was probably, by the time I was a teenager, I would get water trapped in my ears and I would shake my head, shake to try to get the water out of my ears. And I looked a little funny and people used to laugh, but it was the only way I could get water out of my ear. As I got older, the water was more and more stuck. I had to shake more and more violently to get the water out, and sometimes the water didn't come out. I had to wait or put in some alcohol drops or something to get the water to dry up. Eventually, I had ear infections, and those ear infections got stuck, and they couldn't get out. And finally, when I was in Chile, my ear infections were so bad. I had an ear infection that lasted for months, trapped in my ear, and my ear was swollen completely shut in the ear canal. The infection was trapped behind the growth. It's not comfortable. Now, we didn't know about this until I had been kayaking about 20 years or so. That's when we kind of started finding out, oh, it's in kayakers too. It just happened to be found in surfers first. Most of the river water that we kayak in is a temperature that will cause this bone growth to occur. Even today, this isn't something that a lot of people know about. This is not something that even a lot of local doctors in landlocked areas will know about. So it's really our job to be informed and to share this information and make sure that every kayaker understands if you are exposed to long-term cold water and wind from kayaking, you will get surfer's ear. It will happen. It's not a what if. And it'll continue growing as long as your ears are repeatedly exposed. Anytime the air temperature and the water temperature are below 70 degrees, you should probably wear earplugs. Anytime they're below 68 degrees, you should definitely wear earplugs. Now, the biggest resistance that I had to earplugs, and the biggest resistance that most people I know have had to earplugs, is the inability to hear other people. But the great thing is, nowadays, there's plenty of earplugs that allow you to hear. Docks Pro plugs allow you to hear, and so what you can see when you look at the docks is that there's a little tiny hole that's a vent that allows sound to enter but keeps water out. Surf ears are my preferred brand. I like these the best. They're a little bit expensive, but they are worth the money. They do have a nice, clean, thin screen over them that all allows sound to enter but keeps water out. And they fit into the ear canal really nicely, preventing water from getting in and allowing sound to move in and out. So you're able to really hear while you're wearing these. Alright, so you already have surfer's ear, what now? So option one is to wear earplugs. You may be able to stop or slow that progression. The other option is surgery. Surgery isn't fun, I just had it, I'm recovering from it. But there's two different methods of surgery, and one is definitely, I feel, better than the other. One method is to lower your ears. The surgeon actually enters from the back and lowers down your ears and drills out the bone growth. It's a lot easier on the surgeon, but it's a lot harder on the patient. The recovery time is longer, and there's a potential for high frequency hearing loss from the drill. The other type of surgery, the one that I had, it's also the one that I recommend, is the chisel method. The chisel method requires a surgeon just entering through the ear canal, opening the skin over the bone growth, and chiseling away the bone pieces, and they chisel out like an onion in little layers. Here's a clip of some of the bones that they got out of my ears. Keep in mind, 1/4 of an inch is about 6 millimeters. Look at the size of those bones they cut out of my ears. Recovery time was only about 3 to 4 weeks. On average, I was mostly recovered by 2 weeks. If you do have to have surgery, I highly recommend Dr. Hetzler in Santa Cruz and the Santa Cruz Surgery Center. He's the leading expert and the leading surgeon for surfer's ear surgery. I'm going to link his videos and a few videos that he talks in to give you guys some more information. If you can't use Dr. Hetzler or one of his fellows, my suggestion is to find a surgeon who has done it before. So research your surgeons before you have it done. Either way, the surgery is completely avoidable by just wearing earplugs. It's that simple. Wear earplugs, you don't need surgery. Don't wear earplugs, you will get surfer's ear. So when I went in for my patient consultation for my pre-op appointment before surgery, one of the things he was really excited about was this otoscope. It's a visual ear pick, and he gave me an Amazon link and everything. I'll link it below so you guys can check it out. But it's really simple. It just plugs into your computer when you open the box, and it's actually what Dr. Hetzler uses and what other ENTs use to look into your ears. It's just a simple scope. It costs $15. It's on Amazon. It's so easy to get. And then you can look in your ears and you can tell, are they open? Has your surfer's ear progressed? Do you have surfer's ear? If you're curious, this is a simple way to find out. Unlike a helmet protecting you from a possible concussion or a PFD protecting you from a possible drowning, earplugs protect you from definite surfer's ear. So wear those earplugs, add them as an essential piece of equipment, and I'll see you guys on the river. If you like this video, make sure you like and share, but please pass it around and share the information. We need this to get out there. Kayakers need this information now before the bones get the way mine did.